Okay, I'm making another video, and this one is going to show you something I have made that I will use when I go to a premiere. That I'm in this documentary that is being made by Kashiar Darvish. It's going to be called Road to Happiness, and I'm one of the people that is in this documentary. And I talk a little bit in it about these, or I don't know exactly because I haven't seen it, but I did show Kashiar all these pictures of light that I'm getting. And so I'm going to have this out in the front to be a demonstration of some of the pictures of light and why it is that I think I'm getting pictures of the very tiny world, maybe even the Planck size for all I know. Now I want to show you some of my examples of this. Now up here, that's not my pictures. These two are pictures I got off of the internet, and they're pictures that are taken of the atom, actual pictures taken. And see how they do this little interweaving thing and this here. I get that in my pictures of orbs when I'm taking pictures of the light. And here's an example, you see, of those little circular things. And much more other things that they don't see, my camera is getting. Sometimes at one time I got this one of this, get back so I don't get in my shadow and then just try to bring it in. Okay. I got this big black hole. And this one, I get these holes that look like they have tubes running through them. And I thought, well, that would be very interesting if I could get the attention of someone who believes and studies the string theory, that everything is connected by little invisible tiny strings. And I get a lot of holes. And the holes look like there may be something coming through it. And of course, this one shows something going into a hole. But these holes could be the conduits for whatever stringy thing is going to come through it. I get some very unusual pictures of orbs showing all this kind of stuff. Now, we're going to go back very slowly over here. This is something also that I got off the internet. It's called the Calabi-Yugel manifolds. That's the name of the person that discovered this. This is in the subatomic microscopic world. The way that the whatever they're looking at moves. Well, in my pictures of orbs, I get strange movements similar to that. And I'll just show you some of what I get. And sometimes I get a picture of an orb that just twists in the middle. And so they do all kinds of twisting, and the light goes all kinds of ways. Okay, now here's something very interesting. This is a picture of light when it first comes out of the light source. It comes out as these orbs that are sort of the shape of a teardrop. This one is just partial because dark light also comes from light. So part of this orb is dark. But look in the violet part. You can't see it with this picture because it's, I did a close-up. But in the violet part, there is a matte-like finish. Here it is. This is a close-up of it. And what's interesting about this is that someone said in a video I watched that if we were in a computer-generated world, we would know by taking a close focus on any object because it would look pixelated. This looks pixelated to me, and this is the violet color in the light. So is light part of a computer-generated world? And the colors that are in the orb, sometimes they just drip over the side. That doesn't show real well, but that color's dripping off the edge of that. And the light can look like it's traveling over a hump of something. There's that look to that. Now, I'm going to go back over here and show you the thing called orbital wave function of the hydrogen atom. I get this also in my orbs. And look at that one in particular. And now look here. These are my orb pictures. Is this orbital wave action? It sure looks similar to that. And see, it comes as just one round dot inside of a circle, or 4, or 2, or 5. Comes all kinds of ways that they've depicted it there. And I get it all kinds of ways. I'll just show you a few of the pictures I've taken of it. Now see here, it's more than just 4 ways. It starts out and then makes a pattern that looks like a woven rug in a way. Here it is again in this one. And here it is just as a circle in the middle without the little individual ones. Sorry, I can't talk today. Now, here is another of the pictures I took off of the internet. It's an artist's rendition of how subatomic particles self-propel. That little weaving action. And I think they hit it right on the nail, the hammer right on the nail, because this is exactly the action I get in my orbs. That little weaving, and as it weaves, it's moving. I get that a lot in my orbs, and I also see it with the naked eye when I look at light. And see, I have maybe hundreds of pictures of this. Also, it can get rather complicated looking and just fill a big area up with all kinds of weavings. Sometimes the orb has ribbons of color, dark colors that just drape over the side of the orb. Sometimes an orb has what looks like little colorful bubbles on it. And see, they seem to be falling off the edge of this orb. The orb is so flexible it can fold in so many ways, as you can tell from this picture. And this is unusual because you see those 2 little sockets to the right that look like 2 eyes. When I take pictures of orbs with this one particular camera, those little sockets will show up in all the orbs. This doesn't show it as well as some other pictures I have, but anyway, to get on with this, these are an artist's rendition of the flux threads of light that connect every particle of the universe with every other particle. So there you go. Only theirs looks like they're just going straight. When I get this kind of action, it's curvy and very colorful too. And there's a lot of lines that crisscross one another. And I get some very unusual things in the orb pictures I take. Sometimes I get a picture like this of the orb. It's not shaped like an orb at all, just color moving around out there in what looks like empty space. Now here's one of the colorful bubbles, like I showed above with this one, only they seem to be enveloping an orb. And in this case, they seem to be falling out of an orb that has cracked open. It's so full of these things. I like to call them thought bubbles. They could be. Light can look real erratic sometimes. Look at this one. I used to get a lot of pictures of light, it looked like lightning. Very unusual. Okay, coming back, I'm going to show you the next thing. Now this I didn't see an example of anywhere in any videos I watched about light. This is something I just discovered on my own. See those little round looking ball things inside of what looks like a cocoon? This is what the light does. It makes these little brown, they turn into this. You can see it better here in this picture. I call them curved line balls. And they just multiply. There's lots of them in this orb. And see them in this orb? Curved line balls. And sometimes there's so many they just get all jumbled up. Here's some in this one. They never quite touch, which leaves that little triangle shape right in the middle of where it looks like 3 of them have come together. But before they turn into their curved line balls, and I see this in real time, when I'm just looking through my camera at the light, it looks like if I put water or saliva onto the glass, it makes big black holes. I don't have a picture of that, but there are several. I don't have one right now. But those black holes evaporate because it's water. And what's left looks like a little X. One time I put some saliva on a piece of glass and it was like running down the glass. And I looked just with the naked eye and I could see all these little X's. It was so strange looking. And here's a good example of how they look like an X. But the X's turned into these curved line balls. Now, what is happening there? What kind of action is that? First a black hole, then an X, then 2 curved line balls, and then multiple curved line balls? Strange. Okay, enough with the curved line balls. I want to show you a photon as it comes out of the light. It's moving. But they say light does not travel, but light does reproduce itself. And in its reproduction of itself, it looks like it's traveling. Here's several pictures of it, of the little orb as it comes out of the light. You can see it makes a second one. It can make a third one, but I've only seen it make 3. And it lengthens its little body until it sometimes looks like a very long ribbon. And that's its movement, its reproduction. This little orb is so extraordinary. Look at it traveling in this photograph. It's like every part of it can move in any kind of way it wants to. And look at it here. It's twisting like a twirly bird. And there's that one of the many different little orbs. I have better pictures of the ones that show the 2 sockets that look like little eye holes. I see so many strange things in light, and even talking about them sounds kind of ridiculous, but what I'm seeing is unusual. And I just call it like it looks. Now this is my picture of an orb coming right out of the light with the dark area, because dark light comes from light. That's all I can think that must mean. Dark light comes from light. It's right there in it. So all these pictures I'm going to have, and more as well, that are loose, when I go to the premiere that I'm going to be in, called Road to Happiness by Kashiar, and he will be posting also some things onto Facebook about this upcoming documentary. It's the first time I've ever been on the big screen. I don't photograph well, so I'm worried about how I'm going to look. But I will do this for science. I don't care how I look. I want this to be known. I want people to see light and understand, because I've read a lot about light, that everything that is light. We are light. So all this talk about the Mandela effect and how things can change, well, yes, because we are like informational cells in the body of a bigger organization, or, a program or something, and some people would call it God. Some people would call it the universe or something like that. But we are not real. We're not real. We are illusion. And we're looking at an illusion. Everything around us is illusion. But that's good news, because illusion can be multiplied with thought. Thought is something important. We need to understand our thoughts are creative. And we can create stuff. We can feed the hungry of the world, clothe them, house them, everything with thought. And we need to get our thoughts in line with God's thoughts, and they're always of love. So don't be deceived into believing in doom and gloom futures, because a future is really very good. It's full of light, and that is what we are. This is the Dove Lady, over and out. Bye.